Hey everyone, Scott here. Sorry I've been away for a while. The week before last was the fifth week of the month, so obviously there wasn't enough a lot of books coming out. So what I decided to do was, I think I only had two pickups. So what I decided to do was just to leave it. Um, Things kind of got away from me a little bit, so decided no video. Plenty of books this week, and before I get into them. And this is going to be actual reviews, by the way. So if you've not read your books and you've got some of the books I've got, don't watch. Well, I'm saying don't watch. Watch it, but come back later once you've read your books. That was a convoluted way that I was trying to get my point across. Anyway, here's some sort of wee books that I managed to pick up. Unlike most people, well, we don't really get. Because I'm from Scotland. I don't really have like a shop with excuse me, uh, like a dollar bin or a 50 pence bin or whatnot. In fact, it's quite hard to get shops with back issues at all. So most of the time, I'm really having to negotiate eBay to pick up any wee bargains here and there. So managed to pick up this. This is a one shot from '95. This is Nightwing, Alfred's Return. Alan Grant, Dick Giordano. Um, I got it for 99 pence. Thought I'd give it a whirl. I'm actually trying to collect a lot more of the Nightwing books and fill in some gaps. I've got a lot of them, but I don't have. There's a lot of the early stuff I don't have, so I need to try and get in and get like some of the mini series that started it off and then look into the volume one proper. But picked that up for 99 pence, not bad. Another series I'm trying to get in, I'm starting to get into, Batman Legends of the Dark Knight. This is issue 149. This is part one of five, the Grimm storyline. I love that cover, by the way. Cover's fantastic. Issue 150. Awesome cover. This is God, I don't even know how you pronounce this guy's name. DeMatteis, I think. But I'm really wanting to read this story. I've not had a chance to read it yet. This is issue 151, 152, and 153. Um, I think this is more or less a Dick Grayson story, and it looks as if it's going to have a fairy tale element to it. So I'm going to get round to reading them, and I'll continue kind of fishing about on eBay for bargains. Incidentally, that all cost me, I think it was like 20 pence an issue, so bargain. Anywho, on to the last week's issues. This is the reviews, don't forget. No particular order. The one and only Marvel book that I got. This is issue 11 of Daredevil. Charles Soule and Ron Garney and Matt Miller. This has been okay as a series. It's not. When it was first announced that Charles Soule was taking over, I was really excited because I thought, first and foremost, Charles Soule's a really good writer. Sorry about the sirens. Uh, Secondly, the guy's an actual lawyer, so we might actually get some law drama type stuff going on. We've not really had much of that happening. Um, it's it's been just okay. Thankfully, though, this new arc that they've started on, the Dark Arts, is fantastic. It is really dark. It's really creepy. There's a lot of procedural stuff starting to creep in. This is the second part of this arc, and it's just really really cool. I'm liking what they're bringing. Well, I'm not a big Inhumans fan, but it's interesting that they're bringing this element into it. That there's Inhumans being killed off and placed in a kind of almost Inhumans are human. I think was the message it was supposed to be. Doing everyday tasks like sitting on the toilet or doing their ironing or whatnot. But yeah, this has been really cool, and this issue was a big step up. Curious to see. Charles Soule has quite often said that there's an overall plan that Matt's put into place here. I'm curious to see where it's going because he mentions that at one point here he thinks he's going to get fired from the DA's office, and he says, "I've barely got started," as if there's some bigger aim in the pipeline. So I'm curious to see where this is going to go, but this is safe for now. On to the rest of the books here are all DC now. DC is really taking up the majority of my pull list. I think I figured it out. I'm sitting on a monthly basis. I think I'm sitting at something like nearly 30 plus books. I'm down to 3 Marvel books a month and 4 Ellen Image. So DC absolutely dominate my pull list just now. Issue 6 of Green Arrow, Ben Percy. Stephen Byrne, an Irish artist, doing this one. I believe he did some of the art on Gotham Academy. This was really cool because, for 2 reasons. First off, it was a story about Emiko Queen. Basically, you get the background on how she managed to get, pull the wool over Oliver's eyes and her mother's eyes, and it kind of recounts the events leading up to what happened on the Ninth Circle's worship. I want to say it's called the Inferno. Was it the Inferno? Can't remember. Anyway, so yeah, this is Amiko's trail with how she got to that point, and we kind of get an interesting story here because I'm actually reading Deathstroke 2, and the Clock King, the new Clock King, or it would appear that there's a new Clock King, is in this issue. And his MO is quite interesting because it's involving these watches that you put on, and it basically allows you to have the time to do all the things that you want to do. Because as he says, and he specifically targets the younger people because, as he says, they've never ever got the time to do whatever they want to do. Ben Percy's the way he's writing Emiko gives me a lot of hope because I'm really hoping Teen Titans comes out at the end of this month, obviously led by Damian Wayne, and he's hinted that there's going to be a 6th mystery member. I'm hoping it's going to be Emiko because I've been talking to my friends, and my mind is going into overload about how cool the interactions between those two could be because they are so headstrong and a little bit of arrogance. Well, a big bit of arrogance on Damien's part, a little bit of arrogance on Emiko's part. She knows how good she is. So I can just see the fireworks sparking off, and it's just getting me really even more excited for that title. So yeah, but this was a really, really solid issue. I think it's a 2-part one before we get back to whatever Oliver's doing on the island again. But yeah, this was a welcome break. The art wasn't really, it's not terrible, but it was a bit cartoony in places for my taste. But it was okay. It was decent. But I'm enjoying the story anyway. It's really cool. Issue 4 of Nightwing, Tim Seeley, Javier Fernandez, and I think it's Chris Sotomayor. But anyway, the whole team really pulling their weight here. This is the final part of Better Than Batman. Kind of surprising and kind of not surprising elements that are going on in here. Spoiler alert. The Parliament of Owls is done. They're more or less taking down. Spiral is decoding all their these coins. The coins are like an old vinyl record where that's where they keep the records of all their members. So Spiral's decoding them. Grayson and Raptor managed to get a hold of these, and they pass them on to Spiral, and they're currently decoding them. But in a kind of a twist, Raptor, despite everyone warning Dick that he was not to be trusted, and Dick slowly but surely trusting him, and him being sucker punched by kind of information about his own family. Raptor may or may not know his mother, or have known his mother. Dick starts to trust this guy. He maybe he shouldn't, and it's clear that this is kind of Seeley's got a long game going on here. He's really playing with the fact that Nightwing is or Dick Grayson is a very, very trusting character, and the similarities between himself and Raptor, is playing to the core of who he is, and it's just really fantastic. Javi Fernandez is doing such a super job with the art. I was really concerned when this book was launched because Mikael Janin being the artist on Grayson, I felt he was perfect for that type of character. So when it was announced that he was taking over on Batman, or he was going to be on the Batman book, I was kind of disappointed. But Javier Fernandez has really, really stepped up. Um, there's a kind of rough grittiness about his art, especially with this creature here, who is, spoiler alert again, the leader of the Parliament of Owls. I think he's called Moloch, and his how he transforms into that is down to the Parliament's involvement with Cobra. They're stealing your DNA splicing tech, and this is how has came about. But yeah, this has been a super series. I'm really, really enjoying it, and it's good to see it coming out twice a month. As I say, end of that arc, the Parliament seems to be tied up really, really quick. Although, as I said, Seeley seems to be playing a long game with the dynamic between Nightwing and Raptor. So we'll see where that's going. We're getting the Night of the Monster Men now, so that'll be a wee break, and we'll obviously come back to Raptor. Issue 6 of Batman is Tom King, Ivan Reis on art. I was going to drop this. I was going to. And even when I was reading this issue, well, when I seen the issue, I thought, I don't know if I want to be reading about Gotham Girl. These two characters, Gotham and Gotham Girl, to me they've not been the best. This is just such an odd book. I had really high hopes for this with Tom King taking over. He's blew me away on Grayson, obviously. I've been reading his run on Vision, which is just amazing. It's like a masterpiece. So I had high hopes when he took over this book, but the problem I've got with it is it doesn't seem to be. It's a Batman book, but Batman's barely in it. He doesn't really seem to have a voice. He doesn't really. The character just seems to be very in the background, and that's not necessarily a bad thing. I mean, you just need to have a look at what James Tynion's doing with Detective. That's the perfect example. The difference there is, though, is that book's more or less focused on Kate Kane and Tim Drake and Stephanie Brown and Cassandra Cain and all the others, Clayface. He's there in like I've often compared that book to an X-Men book. He's there, Batman's there in like a Professor X role. He's there to maybe pop in now and again and do his bit, and then off he goes, and it's on to the main characters. This is his book, and the focus has been on Gotham and Gotham Girl, and we still, other than the fact that we get a bit of backstory on both. Both almost lost their parents in similar circumstances to Bruce Wayne, and then did lose their parents, which kind of sent Gotham over the edge and Gotham Girl onto a kind of fearful, catatonic state. This is the aftermath, and although it's written very, very well, it deals with grief and how different people deal with grief, and it's written, as I said, really, really well. But the problems I've got with it, I think, is because I don't know enough about Gotham Girl, and I don't care enough about Gotham Girl to be affected completely by this issue, even although it's written extremely well. And as I said, I was going to drop it up until we got to the last 4-5 pages, where finally we got Bruce Wayne and how he dealt with his situation, and this is how he reaches out to Gotham Girl to finally kind of calm her down and to try and, because she's broken and she's trying to fight crime, and of course her powers are, the more she uses her powers and the more she does it, it's actually killing her. So he's trying to save her, and he's trying to save her mental state and her health. So in that regard, it's beautifully done. It really is. And for now, this has saved me. This has saved me. This has saved this book for me dropping it. I'm curious to see what direction he takes it in, and I've actually just learned that this first arc, we had the initial Rebirth issue, then we had 5 issues of this, and this is the epilogue, which is called I Am Gotham. The next arc is called I Am Suicide, and I think that's going to follow the same structure. 5 issues, a 6th one will be the epilogue to that, and then the final arc is called I Am Bane, in the same structure. So this is kind of more or less, he's structuring this, he's planned it out, and he's got an end game. To quote, don't really like using that word, but he's got an end game for this. Curious to see if he's going to stay with this after this is all done, because this first arc's been 3 months. Monster Men comes out as another month. Maybe the end of next year, this might be him done. Is someone else going to take over Batman title? So this has got me curious as to where this book is actually going to go. I've spoken an awful lot about this for a book that I supposedly didn't like. The last 4 or 5 pages saved this. Not terrible, well done, just not my cup of tea. What it definitely is my cup of tea is Superman issue number 6. I've never been a Superman fan, and the super family in general hasn't really, it's just not been my thing. I think they're too overpowered. You can only bring out the Green Rock to defeat them, really. This, however, has just been fantastic. What Peter Tomasi and Patrick Gleason are doing with this is, it's not the same as what they did with Batman and Robin, but they're applying the same techniques that they did, just in different ways. We get the conclusion to the Eradicator story in this arc. Spoiler alert, Superman is announcing himself to the world, or this Superman, sorry, the New 52 Superman. And at the same time, right at the very end, in a really, really cool moment, he introduces John to the rest of Batman and Wonder Woman as the new Superboy. The whole fight on the dark side of the moon, Batman's secret cave on the moon, was just awesome. It was just really well done. They give us back Crypto, Crypto, who was killed off allegedly eaten by the Eradicator. I think issue 4. Was it issue 4? I think it was. But he's back as well, and he's just as awesome. So all the dog lovers out there can get off these guys' case. So that was a great moment. The art's just wonderful. It's a no-brainer. I've been a fan of Patrick Gleason for a good while now. So that was just fantastic and wonderful. I keep saying fantastic, but it just is. If you're not a Superman fan, if you've been on the fence, sorry about that, if you've been on the fence about picking up this title, do yourself a favour, go and pick it up. It's just a brilliant, brilliant lead, and you will fall in love with this character. Both of them, John Kent, is just, I think it's been the best thing of the new 52, of Rebirth. So much so that a book that I wasn't going to get, Super Sons, if it does ever materialise, I'm going to add, no question. It's got Damian Wayne and it's got this little guy here, so yeah, I'm in on Super Sons, no problem. But yeah, this was super. This was my book of the week, by the way, by a mile. And last but not least, Supergirl issue number 1. This is Steve Orlando, and I want to say Why do I want to say Bernard? Is it Bernard? Completely unprepared. And of course, is it at the back? Is it at the back? It's going to be at the back. Brian Ching, I was going to say Bernard. Why was I going to say Bernard? Brian Ching on art. I think he's a regular artist now. His art was okay, it's different, it's a little bit cutesy, a little bit, I want to say anime, was it? I'm not really a big anime fan, but this was as near as damn it. The lines were a wee bit heavy for my taste. If he'd maybe not be as heavy with the lines at times, I would probably have appreciated it a bit more. As far as the number one goes, this is really, really cool. I really enjoyed the story. We're seeing Kara really struggling with adapting to life on Earth, from the life that she knew, and what she can do. There's a real kind of teenage vibe here. What you can do, what you're allowed to do, who you have to check in with. It's the thing that every teenager goes through. You're not allowed to do this. You're not allowed to do that. You must tell me where you are going. You must tell me when you're doing X. But I suppose you get that with any child, but even more so with a teenager. And this plays off beautifully with this, where she stops a robbery on a train, but she never had permission from the DEO to actually suit up and go and do this, and she's kind of really fed up as a result. She feels as if she's not fitting in. So yeah, this has just been super. Hey, no, this is fantastic. I'm really enjoying this. The only downside to this is, and I actually was thinking about it today, is it's a monthly book, so I've got another month to wait for issue 2 of this. But yeah, this was really super. So that was the pull for last week. I think this week, if I can just pull it up, bear with me just 1 wee second. I always keep a list of the books I'm getting for next week. Yeah, I've got All Star Batman issue number 2. I did get issue number 1. After saying that I wasn't going. I'm weak, it's comics, okay? Batgirl and the Birds of Prey issue number 2. That one continues to be on the fence for me. I'm really hoping it gets better. Deathstroke number 2, which was fantastic. I love that. Detective Comics issue 940. Are they going to do it? I'm going to go internet silent on Wednesday. My son's got an open day at school, so I'm not actually going to get my comics until Thursday. So I'm going to have to go internet silent so that I don't get it spoiled. Red Hood and the Outlaws issue number 2. One of the biggest surprises of Rebirth is that this was actually really good. Let's hope that Lovedale continues with that. Wonder Woman issue 6, I've been enjoying the hell out of that. Black Science issue number 24. I really seriously need to do a catch up on that. I think I've got about 12 or 13 issues to read still. It's been that long. And finally, Spider-Man issue number 8. It's been a tough read. Civil War's really making it hard for me to enjoy that book. Need a wee drink here. So yeah, that'll be that for this week. I won't get my books till Thursday. Hopefully you all get to your shops on time and enjoy your books. I keep looking up here, it's not, the camera's there. Thanks for all the new subscribers, by the way. Thanks to all the people who's been watching my 2 videos. I know I promised more, I'll get on that ASAP. And just remember to thumb it up if you liked this video, thumb it down if you didn't. If you're first time here, please subscribe, and that's it. See you later, guys. Ta-da.